tell the story, shall we? Let's do a fun little recap of everything that happened over the last years, okay? It's a recap, if you will. A recap. Okay. So, imagine we're gonna start age 7, okay? Age 7. Age 7 Bri started a bit with all of her friends, and she decided that she will never drink water again because she didn't like water. Water was disgusting. Water is foul and icky and of the devil, okay? She just decided that. My parents decided to stop buying soda, and instead they just made sweet tea, which is awful. And so I just stopped drinking water, and I stopped drinking liquid, okay? So now fast forward to about, how old was I? 21? 20? 21? 20? Something like that? Spent the entire time not drinking water. For literally the entire, from 7 to 21, did not drink water whatsoever. The most unhealthy person on the planet, because I decided randomly that water was disgusting and foul and icky. Now, I turn 20, 21, something like that, and I start streaming. I get a really cool little goal going in my chat. I raise $45 whole to buy a little heart rate monitor, and I start doing horror games on stream like once a week, and I use a heart rate monitor while I do it because I thought that would be really, really fun. And coincidentally, that started a whole thing because getting the heart rate monitor so stream could see, everyone started to learn that I am secretly like a hummingbird, where my heart rate will just jump up to an ungodly amount, and then jump back down, and then jump back up, and then jump back down, and just go all over the place. It'll zoom up to like 180, and then it'll drop down to actual 80. It'll jump up another 60 every time I stand up, and then it'll drop back down. It'll go all over the place. But I looked at that, and I went, whatever. Look, it's a funny bit. That's all this is. The lion does not concern herself with her possibly concerning heart condition. The lion does not give a shit. Time goes by, and I am easily guilt-tripped and easily manipulated into doing things. And my chat tells me, hey, you should go to the doctor. I went to the doctor. Doctor said, damn bitch, I don't know, go drink water and then come back in a week and see if it's improved. And I heard that and I went, no thank you, I'm good, no thank you. Because I was still doing my drinking water is stupid and disgusting trend that has been now running for 13 years straight, and you know, I'm 13 years in, might as well commit to the full bit, you know? Anyway, so that happened, and the doctor said that I should drink water, and then I just didn't, and then that was like it. Years now go by, and my heart rate is now a funny little bit that I can show off, and I can gain attention from, because everyone knows that I thrive on attention, no matter what attention it is. And so the minute that I put that 180 fucking beats per minute on the screen, you know that someone's gonna come in and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I get to go on the long list of everything that is indeed wrong with me. And it's fantastic. Anyways, years have gone by. I am now, how old am I? Okay, I think it was like when I was 25, and I was like, shit, maybe I should actually get my life together. Maybe I should actually go to the doctor and figure it out. So, I go. It takes, by the way, actually, wait, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. The reason I decided to go to the doctor was because my body stopped breathing properly. My body decided to stop breathing very well, and so I was like, fuck it, sure, this has been like a month, I'll go to the doctor finally. And it took like 4 months of waiting, but I went to the doctor. My breathing issues at that time had been fixed already because it just went away, but fuck it, I went to the doctor anyways. And I talked to her and I was like, hey, for the last 5 years of my life, I've been told repeatedly, over and over and over again, that gosh golly gee, my heart rate is concerning. And she went, okay, do you drink water? And I went, no. And she's like, okay, do you have anxiety? And I went, yes. She's like, okay, do you notice your heart rate go up? Like, do you feel it? Do you feel like you're like getting, you know, there's consequences to your heart rate going up where you feel sick or you can feel it in your chest, blah, blah, blah. And I went, no, that doesn't happen. What do you mean? And then I went home because she said that it's nothing and it's just anxiety. But she gave me a checkup like 3 months later to come back. And then I went home, and then I suddenly became very aware of all of the things that my body did. Because it was like a click happened inside my brain where I was ignoring it my entire life because I thought it was normal. And the minute she was like, oh, do you notice like any like adverse, things happening to your body because of your heart rate? And I was like, anyways, I noticed it suddenly and realized that holy shit, oh my God, gosh golly gee, I get really tired really quickly. Like, I stand up and I'm tired. I go answer the doorbell and my head hurt and I have to sit down because I got dizzy. Like, ew, I live like this? Yeah, no, my awareness got activated because of her. Because I have this other thing called autism. I don't know if you guys know this. I have this thing called autism. With that comes a poor introspection, which means that you don't pay attention to shit going on in your body. You're bad at it. So I now noticed things that were going on in my body, and I realized it was a bad thing. So I was like, okay, fine. I have an appointment. I'm gonna go get like an EKG, whatever. I have an appointment. I'm gonna go back to the doctor in 3 months. Life is gonna be amazing. And then I went back to the doctor, and then she told me that it was anxiety and that I should stop being anxious. And I was like, okay, been there, done that, but now like what else? And she went, oh, well, young people already have heart problems, so it'll probably just go away, so don't worry about it. And I went, I don't know about that one. I'm no thank you. And she went, no, but I'm right and you're wrong. And I went, That was basically how the conversation went, by the way. Just, slightly more professional. Anyways, so, she was like, no, I think it's all in your head, but I guess, fine. I guess if you want to, you can go to a cardiologist. I'll just send you to a cardiologist, see what they have to say. And I went, yes, please do that. She's like, are you sure? Because I swear it's nothing. And I'm like, yes, please send me to a cardiologist. They'll figure it out. And then I had to wait 8 fucking months because America sucks. I got the call. By the way, I lost my insurance in the meantime. This was before I turned 26. I live in America. You lose your insurance when you turn 26. And then, so I got the original appointment in February. They called me. They're like, cool, we have an availability in fucking September. And I went, oh, okay. And then I waited. And then I waited. And then I waited. And then September 30th finally came along. And I was fucking terrified. At first I was excited because I was like, oh my God, hopefully maybe I can finally figure this out. Maybe finally I can figure out my issues. I can maybe get something diagnosed. Life is gonna be amazing. But the day before happened, and I didn't sleep because I was terrified. I was very, very nervous. So I didn't sleep the entire time. I still haven't slept, by the way. I'm on 20 minutes of sleep, which is really cool. Anyways, so I didn't sleep, and I woke up at 5 fucking a.m. in the morning, in the a.m. I woke up at 5 to go make sure that I was ready, and I left an hour and a half early. Like, I won't give you the exact number, but it's like, let's say if it was like a fucking 10-minute drive, I left 15 times the amount of time that I would need to be early. Does that make sense? Is that the correct amount of time? Yeah. Anyway, I left fucking early. Because I was really worried because it was so early in the morning. I was like, oh my God, what if there's traffic? What if there's like school kids or something like that? There's buses, I'm gonna be late and then they're gonna hate me and then I'm gonna have to wait 8 more months. So, anyways, got up really early, got into my car, started driving, and then got a call on the way there that was like, shit, dude, never mind. There's been an emergency. Can you come tomorrow? And I went like, yeah, no worries. I'll come tomorrow. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And then I turned my ass around and then drove home. And then the minute I got home, they called me again and went, hey, never mind, actually, can you come now? Because it turns out the emergency didn't actually take that long. So, like, we're available now. Can you just come now? And I was like, okay, sure. And then I got back in my car and then drove the whole way over there again. And then I sat and I waited, fucking terrified. Thankfully, I was coasting on 20 minutes of sleep, a entire thing of Dr. Pepper and Adderall. So naturally, I was having the time of my life in that waiting room. I already suspected that the appointment was going better than any other appointment I've had. From the very start, she asked me like basic simple questions. She asked me like, okay, what meds are you taking? You know, she weighed me, she did typical stuff. But then she took my heart rate and it went from she was like, oh cool, your like heart rate's like 94. And then she like looked back, she was like, oh, your heart rate's 112. And I went, oh yeah, it bounces a lot. She's like, oh okay, yeah, your heart rate just does that. And I went, that's the reason I'm here. She went, oh okay, and she wrote it down. And then she left the room to go talk to the doctor. And then she came back and then she started testing me for POTS immediately. Like, she didn't tell me that's what she was doing, but she was like, okay, I want you to lay down for like a minute straight and then I'll test your heart rate. And then I want you to stand or sit up and then I'll test your heart rate again for like a minute and then stand up and then stay there like that for a while. And then, you know, we're gonna go do that. And dude, I was thriving. The validation, like I was genuinely buzzing. I was trying so hard to calm down so that it would be an accurate reading, but I was feeling euphoric. Because I knew what she was testing, and the fact that they immediately like were clued into that without me even doing anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't mention anything. They didn't even ask me why the fuck I was there. I offhandedly was like, oh yeah, no, like my heart rate bounces up and down, and they fucking immediately, oh my god, oh! It was amazing. Anyway, they did the testing stuff, blah, 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 and then I like sat down and I waited a whole bunch, typical stuff. The best thing about like, you know, like getting like a bunch of things for the cardiologist like tested is that it's entirely based on doing nothing. You know, either you sit down and you do nothing or you stand up and you do nothing. However, I still managed to fuck that up because I was so anxious about the idea of doing nothing. Like, she was also like reading, like she used the what the fuck is it called? The stethoscope? Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Like on my lungs, and she was like, breathe normally. And then I sat there and I had like a mini panic attack because I was like, how do I breathe normally? What does one consider breathing normally? Should I sigh heavily so I breathe fully, or do I do my little short breathing? Like, what does breathe normally mean? Am I having breathing issues right now? She knows that I have breathing issues right now. Does she want me to breathe like regular? Like, what the fuck do I do? But then I couldn't tell her. I couldn't ask her because what if then she sees that I'm socially anxious and then she bases all of my heart rate issues off of anxiety because she can tell that I'm anxious. I was panicking. Anyways, yeah, and then she was like, okay, so like relax. And then I started fixating on like, what does it mean to relax? How does one relax properly? I tried to force my heart rate to go down, and then I saw the number as I was doing that go up because I was stressing out about my heart rate not going down. It was a thing. It was a whole goddamn thing. She asked me, are you normally this color? As she was like fiddling with like my arm or something, and I looked at her and I went, what? What? Or is this like your normal color? And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, is it because I'm red? Like, am I suddenly glowing red? Like, is that, because I know that happens sometimes. Is she talking about my toes? Because last time I had a doctor's appointment. I was mid-goddamn pap smear, and she diagnosed me with Raynaud's because she looked at my toes and was like, hey, girl, your toes are purple. That's not good. You have Raynaud's. And then that was it. And that was mid-pap smear. So, like, maybe she was just doing something else. And so I was stressing the fuck out. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, like, are you normally like a redhead? And I went, oh! Yes, I am. And then she's like stared at me. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, is that they made me do an EKG. And an EKG, they make you put stickers on you like all over the place. And I got a sticker phobia. And so let me tell you, that was not an accurate reading of my heart rate. Good God, no it wasn't. Holy shit, I was fucking... She was going through and she was like, okay, you definitely have, oh my God, like, hold on, I gotta get the right word. You have dysautonomia, right? Which is a dysfunction of the nerves that regulate non-voluntary body functions, such as heart rate, blood pressure, and sweating. It's basically the same thing that I described before. Like it's like POTS is like I think a inside the umbrella of dysautonomia, but basically it's my nerves don't fucking coordinate together, and so when my heart rate should, you know, chill the fuck out, it doesn't, because they can't talk to each other. She was like, you definitely have that. Let me like ask you more about like what you do in your life. What's your eating habits like? And I literally laughed out loud and I went, well, so I eat a quesadilla. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, what else do you... I'm like, no. I eat quesadilla. I eat quesadilla in the morning. I eat quesadilla in the evening. I eat quesadilla for dinner. And then sometimes for dessert. And then sometimes I have an additional snack where I eat more cheese quesadilla. She went, do you have protein? I went, I think there's protein in Uncrustables that I also eat, and perhaps protein in the cheddar. I love quesadilla. And she went, okay. And I went, just to let you know, I'm autistic, extremely. And she went, oh, good God. Filled with fear once again. This entire like appointment has been nothing but me going, oh my God, oh, what do you mean? Oh, look, they figured it out. Oh my God, what do you mean? Oh, look, they figured it out. Oh my God. Yeah, so, but she like looked at me and she like looked, like she had her mouth open and she's like, oh, when were you diagnosed? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like recently, like a year or two ago, something like that. She's like, okay, it's really late. But like you're like high functioning, right? And I went, and then she went, well, of course you are, because you're here. And I went, I don't know how to answer that. But she's like, I have a lot of questions about that at the end of the appointment. I have a lot of questions that I need to ask you. And I went, But anyways, so she started talking. She's like, oh, let me go get like a printout for you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I started waiting. I started playing my roguelike on my phone. Which is yet again more proof that I have autism, is that the minute she would leave for 30 seconds, I would whip out Luck Be a Landlord and be fucking spinning those slots, even if she was only gone for 30 seconds. And I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta make my rent. Anyway, so that is autism as well. When she came back and she had a printout, and it just said, like, she didn't even show it to me, she just placed it on her desk. And it just said, like, fucking, oh my God, what does POT stand for? Hold on. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, aka the thing that I've been thinking about for, like, that I had for a really, really long time, that, like, people, even when I first started streaming in 2020, were, like, diagnosing me with, essentially. Thank you. Anyways, but I glanced at it, she's like, hold on, I need to go get a pen. And so she left again, and I looked at it, but I glanced at it and saw that it said POTS really high on the list, and there was there was like something that like unlocked inside of me. Like if I was not in public, there would be like a guttural roar that would come from within that I would not be able to control. because that's the thing that I've been fucking waiting for someone to tell me, and I didn't even get a chance to bring it up. I was just gonna, because normally I like don't like bringing up if I think that I have something very specific, because a lot of times in my experience, people go, oh, you're like just reading about this online, especially if it's like a popular thing like ADHD or autism or like POTS, where like a lot of people are diagnosing it like themselves recently, like it's like quote unquote trending. I feel uncomfortable going to a doctor and being like, I think I have this, because I feel like they'll like discredit me. So like, I just kind of like tiptoe around the subject, and hope that they bring it up. But I gave in. I was gonna straight up bring it up this session, or this appointment, because I was like, fuck it. No, I've given in. I'm just gonna tell her. I didn't get a chance to do that. She didn't mention it to me. She just listed it out, and I saw it. I was like, ah! It was amazing. It was fantastic. And she was like, so she like came back, she got her pen, she sat down, she's like, have you heard of POTS before? And I went, yes. People on the internet have been diagnosing me with POTS for the last 5 years. And she went, what do you mean by that? And I went, oh, fuck. And then I regretfully had to explain streaming to her. And then she went, oh my God, I think my son watches you. And I went, God, I hope the fuck not. And then she's like, so what do you do? Roblox? And I went, no. She was like, oh, but like Minecraft? And I went, you know what? Yes, I do Minecraft. Yes, I do Minecraft. Yes, exactly. Like I couldn't even say like, no, like it's like I just play random video games, stuff like that. Like, no, I do Minecraft. And she was like, okay, yeah. My son plays Roblox. And I was like, that's fantastic for him. She's like, he's making a game. And I was like, that's really cool. I'm happy for your son. She's like, we think he has autism. And I was like, okay, I understand now why you're bringing this up. Okay, cool, okay. But I explained my job to her. She did not understand it whatsoever. But then, because I already bit the like fucking bullet, I was like, fuck it, I explained the job. Might as well just like use it as proof of things and like use it in reference to like dancing around the subject. So I brought up a few things that happen on stream, and like, oh, like yeah, I have a heart rate monitor on stream a lot, so like I see it all the time, blah 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 blah. You know, you get it. We were talking. It was basically regular stuff where she just talked about POTS, and I went, I know all of this. I've done my research. And she went, uh-huh. Anyways, I'm gonna explain it to you anyways. And I went, that's okay. But yeah, a TLDR, she didn't diagnose me with POTS. I think the thing that she said directly was, you got dysautonomia. If you want to go sit on a tilt table, we could technically diagnose you with POTS. But that sounds like something that you shouldn't really want to do, and they both kind of like, they're both treated the same way, so who gives a shit? And I went, so true, bestie, so true. I don't give a shit. I got this. It's handled the same way. The symptoms are the same. Who gives a shit? Whatever. So yeah, I didn't technically get diagnosed with POTS. She just went, yeah, probably, but for sure dysautonomia. Fuck it. You technically have to do a tilt table to get the diagnosis, but you almost never go that far. Yeah, exactly. She was like, tilt tables are awful, and they make you feel just like garbage. And I went, I don't want to do that. She went, yeah. But yeah, anyways, so that was it. She like put me on meds that lowered my heart rate and whatever. She was like talking about insurance and judging me heavily for still not having insurance. Imagine Bri on a tilt table with 20 minutes of sleep. Oh, it would have been great. Actually, I think it would have been probably more fine than it would have been otherwise. Because when I have no sleep and I had a bunch of caffeine and also Adderall in my system, my heart rate is just always up, you know? Like, there was no fluctuation of it going up, down, and all around. So, yeah, so she was, like, talking about it, she put me on meds, whatever. And then, like, she, like, summed it all up, blah, 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 blah. And then she, like, closed her little, like, voice notes thingy, and she went, so, autism. And I went, yes. And then she just sat there and she quizzed me. She was like, what are you about food? And I was like, okay, so these are my very specific things that like I am and how I handle food and how I do like food stuff and you know why I eat things the way that I do. She's like, okay, yes, okay. So what are you about sleep? And I was like, okay, so these are my sleeping issues, blah, blah, blah. She's like, do you sleep on the couch? And I was like, she was like, when you were a kid, did you sleep on the couch? I was like, I still sleep on the couch because it's more comfortable. Anyways, yeah, so she was like, she sat there quizzing me about all of my symptoms of autism. And like, it was very interesting because she was asking me like how it felt. She was like, okay, so you don't like going and doing things that is like not in your like normal routine. I was like, yeah. She's like, how does that make you? Like, why? What is the feeling? And I was like, well, it's not like a painful experience. It's just like, it's not like a fear experience. It's just a, why would I'm not going to experience, but like, you really don't want to. She's like, oh, okay. And she was like genuinely trying very hard to like understand. Anyways, what she was going through, and she was like, yeah, so I think that we know for sure that my son has autism, and he has all of the things that you'd have. And I was like, oh, cool. And then she just sat there and she started like trying to ask questions about her son to me, which I think it was very sweet because it was clear that she was trying to like help her son out, and I think she saw me and she noticed that I brought up all of the symptoms that her son has. And so she went, oh, well, Bri seems to be capable and go outside and be a functioning adult with a job. So therefore, like, I have hope for my son because they're like the same. And she like mentioned that she has like no one that she knows that's autistic. And her son has like no autistic friends. So like they don't know. And so she was just very like fearful. And so she was just sitting there and she was just asking like a bunch of questions about it, which was very sweet. However, she was so neurotypical mom who's trying her best but does not 100% understand the words that she's saying when it comes to autism. You know? So, because it wasn't like, I remember she's like, yeah, like my son won't go on any.
How much did the kidney stone treatment cost? I think I misheard. Almost sounded like you said 7K. Have another 25.
Technically, 6,500. It's just that my cardiologist appointment today cost 600. She had this, because she mentioned, she's like, yeah, my son won't go on medication for autism. And I was like, well, they don't really have like meds for autism. She was like, does your Adderall help? I was like, my Adderall is for ADHD, so like it helps me because it helps me deal with my ADHD so I can focus all my attention on like autism, but it doesn't fix my autism because that's just like how my brain is. That's just it. And she was like, oh, so like you can't cure it? And I was like, oh no, you can't. And then she was like, oh, so this is gonna be the rest of my life? And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be the conversation. Oh, okay. And like I was genuinely, she came across as a very exhausted mom. And from what I understood, like her son was like 14. And I remember me when I was 14. Actually, I take it back. I don't have memories of me when I was 14. But I know that I was just a fucking disaster. Like teenagers in general are awful. But I know that sometimes, especially if you don't have autism, it can be a little bit of a interesting situation if you don't know what the fuck to do and you don't know anyone that's autistic. And she was genuinely trying to ask, like she was asking questions. She's like, okay, how do you, like, what helps you? I was like, okay, well, these are things that I personally find. And like, I literally told her to go watch Community. Like, I told her, I was like, okay, this is like a big hyperfixation of mine, but like there's the show Community. It's a really cute little sitcom. It's very silly, it's very funny, but there's a character named Abed and he's autistic and he sees the world the way that I see the world, where I see everything through like TV references where, oh, this happened in this movie. This is how I respond to other people in real life because this happened in the movie. Like I use those as reference materials. So therefore, maybe that could help you and your son communicate better because he's not good at communicating and you don't seem to be good at communicating either, so maybe that will help you. And so I was like, go watch Community. Anyways, I gave her my phone number. I was like, message me anytime you need anything. I know you're my doctor, and I am a 26-year-old woman with no education in anything to do with this. But here's my number. You're welcome to message me or have your son message me. I am happy to discuss. Because I desperately wanted the son to have a good life. And I was like, fuck it. Fuck it, sure. Yeah, no, that's fine. I will be a mental health professional. That's fine. And she was like, and I was like, okay, because I do really love talking about autism. I talk about it all the time on stream. She's like, oh, maybe my son should watch your stream. And I was like, how old is he again? And she's like, 14. I went, no, he shouldn't. And she's like, no, but he watches Family Guy and stuff. I was like, no, he shouldn't. No. She's like, but can you write it down? I went, no, I can't write my username down. No. But I was like, take my number. You're welcome to message me. I love talking about it. I really am totally okay sharing stuff about it. Please, God, this has been a really big fixation of mine for a really long time. I don't know. She just kept talking about how exhausted she was with her son. And I felt so bad. Because in that situation, it was I could understand being exhausted with her son, but also at the same time, she just didn't understand. It was just a shit, what are you gonna do kind of situation. Anyways, yeah, it was really funny to talk with my doctor about autism, as in I'm going to now diagnose her son with autism and then discuss with her strategies in order to make his life easier.
So that's how you get a girl's number, talk to them about autism.
Exactly! But yeah, I was trying so hard, and then we were walking out. She's like, thank you for talking to me. And this has been one of the best patient appointments I've ever had. I know that you're happy with your POTS diagnosis. I was like, yeah. And she was like, and you gave me so much good information. I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm so happy. I'm so excited to go do more stuff with my son and hopefully, figure things out and help things. And I was like, I'm happy to help. Also, by the way, don't look at Autism Speaks. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's really bad. Don't look at it. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you in 6 weeks. And then I left. Anyways, I have an incurable, automatic nervous system condition that makes my heart go burr, and I'm very excited about that. There's no curing being a VTuber, unfortunately. Sadly, no. Anyways, should we go play a video game? I'm done yapping.